In this episode, we visit the most photographed lake in the world.
I promise, Brent, I absolutely promise.
The look on your face is not reassuring whatsoever.
Without moving the camera, you can move the lens.
Yeah. This is the life, man.
I feel that you're taking advantage of Cleatus. That's abusive.
Your concerns have been noted. Now shut the f***.
To make these two elements balance out perfectly.
You've lied.
This is good fun for me.
How is this fun? How can you not read that? Red Leicester. What's the problem?
Okay.
Oh man, look at this colour.
You think he'd be better off with you, do you?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, obviously.
Just pick him up with his dragging by his neck. I don't think so, Brent.
Wait, are you a girl?
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you bloody doing?
Nothing.
Let me take you on a visit to the most photographed lake in the world, because on any given day, you'll see over 1,000 photographers, umpteen bride and groom duos, countless newlyweds, and an entire army of Rinstagrammers. It's almost impossible to get an original shot of Moraine Lake, but that's not going to stop me from trying.
Alright, so we've made it down to Moraine Lake in spite of the hordes of humans. And I don't know why I'm talking quietly. I always kind of whisper, but I always feel like I'm in church when I come here.
What?
I don't know. It's kind of a sacred place. I don't want to use the word spiritual because I'm not, but you know, it feels kind of like that. So my goal today is to get a different shot. I've shot here. I've lost count of how many times I've been here, and in fact I've only got good light once. And I don't really think there's much chance of getting good light today because, as you can see, there's nothing in the way of clouds. So we should get some nice glow on the peaks, but I always like to have a little bit more than that. One of my favourite shots that I ever got from here had absolutely no light. It was just a blue hour shot. It was a really grim and gloomy day, but it was still beautiful because it was atmospheric and had this perfect reflection and these low-lying misty clouds. So you don't necessarily have to have light to get an epic shot here, but it would be nice. Now sometimes, and I can just see one off in the distance, sometimes when you've got completely empty skies, once that sun pops up, you start to get these little wispy clouds that can coalesce, and if they happen they can catch the light, but I don't know if it's going to work. But what I'm after is a bit of a different shot. So typically people come here and they'll shoot the 10 peaks that you can see in the background. Well, what I want to do is turn the camera around to this mountain here, which is just out of frame. I'll show you in a second. And use these as a trailing edge that trails out of the frame, because this is really imposing. And if we get a nice reflection, a bit windy right now, I could get quite a killer shot, but it's so wide I'll probably have to do a vertical panorama just to fit it into the frame. So I'll get handheld, take the camera off the tripod and start scouting around all these cool rocks in the foreground and see what I can place in front of that epic peak, and then fingers crossed we might get some glorious light. Bosh.
I thought I'd try and impress Amanda with my Herculean log-moving strength, but she didn't seem to notice. Probably just sleepy, I guess.
So we just started to get our first bit of glow on the peaks there, but nothing in the way of wispy clouds, so that's about as dramatic as it'll get. And no reflexion because the wind just picked up. Call me a snob, but, well, I am a snob. But I feel like if you're trying to get a lake shot of Moraine Lake, it's almost pointless without the reflexion. You know, you can put a 10-stop filter on and flatten it out, but it just looks like a 10-stop filtered poor reflection. It's turd polishing. Whereas, you know, you want to get that absolutely beautiful reflection, even if it's rippled slightly. I kind of like the slightly rippled reflection. Often you'll get people canoeing on the lake. No one's doing it today, and that'll give you these gentle waves that come in, and if you time it you can get some nice shapes in a perfect reflection. I think this has still got to be one of the most spectacular views you can get on planet Earth, and that's why there's 800 people on this rock pile right now.
Yeah, just move that oh yeah, that makes all the difference.
So here's my idea. What I want to do is get a sweeping pano that starts there. Well, that would be the right of the frame, and then it sweeps right through to this peak here, which will be in the left of the frame. So that will take up most of the space, and it'll gradually, you can't even see it, can you? Look at that, that's how huge it is, you can't even see it. But yeah, this massive peak that doesn't fit in this frame will sweep down into that beautiful vista over there, but I'm just waiting for a reflexion because it's kind of ripply, and I think it might calm down. It's got a lot better in the last few minutes, so that is the plan. And basically what I'm doing is sweeping this through here. I'll start again, I'll show you this. I'm going to start there, that gives me a bit of cropping space, and then I'm going to do the next shot, which will be about there, and then the next shot, which will be about there, and then the next shot, which will be about there, and then I'll probably just go overboard and take another one over there just to give me that cropping space. But what a gorgeous scene that is.
So it may not be my best shot, but it's definitely my most unique shot of Moraine Lake. And with better light and some clouds and mist, this composition could be a killer shot. So one thing I would encourage you to try in your own landscape photography is to go in the opposite direction to everyone else, both literally and figuratively. And later that day, I would capture one of my best shots of this lake. So keep watching.
Well, I reckon that is about as good as it's going to get. It's wind central now, and I often find that once the sun's risen and it's popped up, you get this blast of wind wherever you go. No jokes intended. But it's time for a second breakfast. I only had one breakfast today.
Bacon and eggs?
No, I'm on a diet. It's going to be
eggs.
Waffles. And we'll go and see what Brent's doing. I think Brent's having a nap in the car park, and then we're going to go on some hike somewhere. So yeah, let's bugger off.
Oh yeah.
What a glorious morning here in Banff National Park. We soaked up the view for a few more minutes, then headed back to the Yeti shed where Brent had a proposition for me.
So, are you actually going to finally show me this secret location that I've been nagging him about for years?
Okay, so here's the deal. I'll take you to my secret spot. I have to say, it took me over 10 years to find this spot. I looked and I looked and I looked. I went up every scree slope, every mountain I could possibly find, and I finally found this spot. I'll show it to you because we're good friends, but you can't tell anybody. I know you're going to take video, I understand, but you can't tell anybody where it is. Is that all right?
I promise. Brent, I absolutely promise.
The look on your face is not reassuring whatsoever.
Okay, let me try again. I promise, Brent, that I would never divulge this location to my audience.
Can I have a piece of that, how do you pronounce it? Leicester?
Read it. Red
Leicester. Leicester. It's Leicester.
Leicester. Red Leicester. That just clearly says Red Leicester. I mean, how can you not read that? Red Leicester. What's the problem?
Okay. It sounds disgusting, but it looks delicious. So can I?
You can have half of it.
A half? Wow, that's generous.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you are showing me your secret spot.
Yeah, that pains me a little bit, but we're good friends. You've showed me a lot of your secret spots on the island.
I've shown you my secret spot many times.
You have. That doesn't taste as disgusting as it sounds.
Cheeky bastard, it's Red Leicester, man. It's going to taste good.
No, that's really good, actually.
Brent, what do you think you're doing with Cleatus there? No.
I just thought I'd bring Cleatus.
No, I'll take Cleatus, thank you very much. Come on, Cleatus, you're a good boy. You're a good boy, aren't you, Cleatus?
As usual, Cleatus was raring to go. He couldn't get down that trail fast enough.
So we've decided to come down to the lake and be a cliched tourist and rent one of the canoes so that we can scope out potential locations for shots.
How much do you think they cost?
At least $100. Now Cleatus is going to need his own little life jacket.
Yeah. For sure. We'll try and get that on him.
It's very precious. Let's get his little legs in there.
Okay, there we go.
Are you all right, Cleatus? Hey, your breath. Oh, it stinks, man. What have you been eating? Sorry, Brent. We can't see your abs now. You've covered them up with you.
They're protected.
Yeah,
they're protected.
So are mine. My abs are protected by fat.
Amply protected.
Cheeky sauce.
I'm fine with it.
Tsunamis are quite rare in the mountains, but not impossible. And within minutes, we were carving down those beautiful blue waters.
Are you ready to swim yet, Cleatus? Getting close.
Oh, look at that. Those peaks really open up from this angle.
Oh, well, look at this colour.
But as soon as Cleatus saw this fish, he was in.
Oh no, don't shake, don't oh, bloody hell, Cleatus. Oh, why do dogs do that?
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
Look, I really disapprove of how you treat Cleatus.
What are you talking about?
Bloody hot out here.
He needed to cool down. He got cooled down. He got his 2 fish. Eh? What better could you do, Brent? Eh?
I think you're promoting him. There's a bit of a danger that he's going to drown you. You took him out of the life vest.
All right, we'll put him back in the life vest then, because we're good.
At the minimum, please put the life vest
Yeah,
on.
well, we're good parents, so back in he goes.
I'm a bit concerned.
All right, fair enough. Your concerns have been noted. Now shut the f***.
I think Cleatus has got such star quality that he should be an Instagram model.
I feel that you're taking advantage of Cleatus. That's abusive.
I don't think so. I think you're going a little bit over the top there. Could you put a bit more effort into the rowing, Brent? Oh! Are you paddling over there, Brent?
Oh yeah, really hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, super hard.
Can't really see you because Amanda's in the way. But
No, I'm really digging in there.
yeah, all I can hear is my own oars.
No, I'm digging in. I'm timing it the same as you.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I'll be honest, I was getting quite into this paddling malarkey.
Can't believe you've never been on a canoe here before.
Well, it's so touristy, right? I just try and avoid doing touristy things, but I'm glad we did this because it's kind of cool.
What's your new favorite thing to do?
It isn't a place like this.
Well, I like it.
That's because you're not rowing.
Cleatus was loving the wind in his hair, this time courtesy of Brent's paddling. I thought I'd just relax a little bit and let him do his fair share of the work, you know.
This is the life, eh?
Gavin, you paddling back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're barely moving.
Yeah, I'm paddling.
I think Cleatus is really cold. I think we should head back.
Yeah, let's quit and head
He's
back.
like shivering.
Yeah, he's really cold.
We're heading on back.
Is he behaving himself?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. It's got really hot, so I think he's not so cold anymore.
Right.
He'll probably have a nap for another 3 days or something.
Yeah, maybe a week.
Yeah.
And if you've ever wondered, this is what the rock pile looks like from the other side.
Oh, Cleatus, he's had a right good. He's tuckered out, innit? He's all tuckered out. Absolutely knackered. Oh, Brent, I see you've lost your shirt again, eh? Have you? Eh?
It's hot out, man.
Yeah.
Cleatus has been going to obedience school, but he's still pulling on that leash. Mind you, I'm told that huskies are quite willful.
No, that's a real bear. That's just as real as Cleatus. Yeah, you gotta watch out, love.
After a quick change of clothes back at the camper, we were ready for our next adventure.
Gavin, right here.
What?
Yeah, right here. Right through that bush there.
There's no trail though.
No, but that's where we're going, right through
No,
that
that
bush.
can't be it. There's no trail there.
No, obviously. We just keep going through the trees till we get there.
We're just bushwhacking.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right, then. After you, love.
Let's do it.
Cleatus. He's a good dog. Look at him, he's just raring to go. I can't even keep up with Cleatus. I wish he'd slow down.
Oh, what a surprise. Brent's trail turned out to be a nearly vertical slope, but at least we had Cleatus to protect us from any grizzly bears we might encounter on the trail. I'm told that huskies can be quite ferocious.
We need to have a talk about your evaluation of distances, steepness and time. You've lied. This isn't a short hike.
This is good fun for me.
How is this fun?
Well, no, it's fun watching you walk up here.
What made you come up here? I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bushwhack with no potential end in sight through mosquito-infested bush. Oh, and the angle will be ridiculous degrees.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
You have to pay to play out here there, brother.
Bollocks.
I could tell that in spite of my complaining, Amanda was impressed by my athleticism.
Oh,
You sound like a dying moose.
I don't know why you want to keep this place secret, because no
going to climb up here. I don't think you need to worry.
I have to admit though, as we eventually cleared the tree line, that majestic view was worth every single burst hemorrhoid.
What could be more rewarding when you're almost at the best view on Earth, almost, and reesting hot, thirsty as shit, nice bit of pineapple punks. How's Cleatus doing, love?
He got carried the whole way.
I'm sorry I have to say this, guys, but it seems like you don't really treat Cleatus well. And I think he deserves more from the two of you.
I think he gets treated quite well.
He's spoiled.
You sort of drag him around, whether he likes it or not. You sort of act like he likes it, but
I think he does.
he looks really sad and matted, and I don't think he's ever had a bath in his life.
And sometimes he has little baths and creeks.
Yeah, he gets regular baths in rivers and stuff. Look, Brent, where do you get off telling me how to raise my own dog?
Well, I'm just saying that I think he deserves a better home, you know, and I think I could probably give him a little bit more love and affection than he's currently getting.
You think he'd be better off with you, do you?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, obviously.
Just pick him up with his dragging by his neck. I don't think so, Brent.
You look very offended, and you guys are my friends. I'm sorry to have to say this, but Cleatus deserves a healthy home, a happy home.
Well, we'll bear it in mind, Brent. Thanks for the offer.
After a torturous climb through mosquito-infested grizzly bear territory,
That's the one that's going in.
Are you okay though?
Of course I'm okay. Well, we're here. What do you think?
Absolutely worth the price of admission.
I don't hear you say that very often.
No.
Yeah, that's great. It is unbelievable. Look at that.
If we could just have some clouds, then it would be worth all of the misery and suffering that you've lied to me to endure for the purposes of a blue sky day.
Yeah, it was a little steeper and longer than I remember, but we made it.
I feel a sky replacement coming on.
Do you?
Yeah.
You don't want to just walk up here again tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I really want to do that. Let me guess. You're doing a pano.
I already did a pano, yeah, that's right.
Well, you'd be forgiven. So Brent, let's hear a little bit about your tilt shift rig and why you like it, what you can do with it.
I use it a lot for panoramas. Sometimes in a hillside when you rotate for a panorama, you get a weird slope on both sides. I don't like it. So this way you just get the same view, but you just shift it left and right, and you just get a bigger field of view.
So can you show us an example of that?
Yeah, so you can take a picture. Without moving the camera, you can move the lens.
Yeah.
And now you can just see a little bit further to the right, and you can see a little bit further to the left. This is a Canon tilt shift lens, which I've adapted for the Fuji.
Yeah.
And it works pretty good. If I go too far, it gets a little black around the edges, so I just stop a bit early.
Is that because it's adapted, or they all do that?
It does it more in this capacity, but yeah, it does it all the time. It usually gets soft if you get too close to the edge.
Let's show on the screen. Let me just get right on the back of the camera there. So you go from there all the way to there, and all you're doing is moving your lens. It's a lot more of a shift than I thought it would be.
It is quite a lot. So normally what I'll do is I'll put it on the panorama mode. I generally like it a little wider than that. So then I would shift this to the right and then to the left, and you just get a little bit of a wider field of view that way.
Wow.
Yeah. The other thing that I would do is if I want to make the mountains look bigger, often that puts the mountain too close to the edge. So you can rotate the lens, and now I'm shifting up. So I can still stretch those mountains out, but I'm not losing the sky, I'm not losing the clouds. No clouds today, but
No clouds.
we're thinking of putting together an online photography course purely for panorama photography. So if that interests you, there's a link to the mailing list in the description below. So faced with a vista like this, you'd think it would be easy to capture an epic shot. Well, not really.
So as spectacular as this is, and it is, absolutely spectacular, it's got to be one of the best viewpoints I've ever seen in my life. The light right now, it's what I call postcard light. It's the kind of light that tourism companies like to show in magazines and posters and postcards and brochures, that kind of thing. And it's gorgeous. It's very inviting. It makes you want to go and hike, and that's why they use those types of images with that type of colour and that type of light. It's very, very bright. It's very, very optimistic. You know, I can appreciate the beauty of that, but as an artist, I want something with a bit more atmosphere. I want something with a bit more mood and depth. So as spectacular as this is, and it is off the charts, I'm definitely going to have to come back for a sunrise, because imagine those peaks glowing in the morning sun. But there's not that much choice in the way of compositions here, and it's a really tight area. And I think both Brent and I are kind of fixated on this really worn out dead tree, which we'll put off to one side of the frame. So I'll try and get that. But I've got hours, I've got absolutely hours to kill. So I think what I'll do is I'll set up a time lapse on this camera and just leave it running. Hopefully I'll get a nice time lapse that shows the light moving through the valley. We'll see.
You know what? Why don't the two of you just enjoy some romantic time? Why don't you put your arm around your lady? Just relax. A bit of romantic time there. Three's a crowd, you know?
Yeah, I've been telling you that for the last few days.
Oh, there we are, Cleatus. There we are. That chubby Yorkshireman with the oversaturated photos can't hurt you anymore. Have they been dragging you through the mud again? Oh, let's have a little brushing session here. Oh, there we are, there we are. I think I'm gonna rename you Fluffy. Wait, are you a girl?
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you bloody doing?
Nothing.
Hey! Cleatus is my dog, not yours!
That's two people now trying to take our dog.
Yeah.
Adam and Brent.
Well, it's because he's so bloody cute.
Yeah, he is.
I'd had enough of Brent's shenanigans. I decided to hike back down to the lake on the off chance that there'd be a nice sunset, and I tell you what, wait till you see this shot.
Okay, so I'm at Moraine Lake, and I want to give you a really good example of balancing out your subjects. So what I've got with this shot, and the video that you're seeing is 16:9, but the 3:2 actually has a lot more on the top and bottom. But what you should be able to see is this rock in the foreground here. It takes up a certain amount of frame space, and so does the sky there. Look at that bit of space devoted to the sky. Got you. What I want to do is make sure that this rock here, as important as it is, I really don't want it to be bigger or have more frame space than the sky. So I'm balancing it out by positioning the camera just at the right position. So if I've got it a little bit further back, it shrinks. By moving to, I would say, 2 feet from the rock, it enlarges the rock and makes it bigger in the frame, and it's balancing out perfectly with the sky. It's almost as big as the sky, but not quite. And the reason why I want to have a little bit more frame space devoted to the sky is because it's really colourful. There's a lot of shape and pattern in those clouds. It's really, really beautiful. And as interesting as this rock is, it doesn't quite compete in terms of interestingness to that lovely bit of sky. And of course, that lovely bit of sky is attached to this mountain range. So to me, that requires more frame space. But if I moved back, I would feel that the balance just wouldn't work. This rock would be so small that then you'd have to question, well, why have you bothered to put that as your foreground? So by getting closer to this rock, it's just got, I would say, just the right size to make these two elements balance out perfectly.
I mentioned at the start of this video how sometimes the canoes can create pleasing ripples, and this is a perfect example. I got really lucky with the position of that canoe as they paddled directly into the centre of that reflection. I I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to tickle my bell. And there's also still time to pick up both chapters of Composition Made Easy while they're on sale. There's a link in the description below.